Hi, Billy.
Hey, Colin.
I would like to tell you about some 40K.
I would love to hear about it.
Excellent. So I have all these BitReps saved up, and I went to record one the other day, Billy, and I recorded it, and I felt like I did a really good job, and I handed it off to editing, who reported back that there was no audio on my track.
It's somewhat useful for, audio, video.
Well, see, you may not know this about me, but in video games, the mechanic that I hate the most is when dying makes me have to redo something.
Oh, interesting.
I have no interest in redoing things. We watched the new Jurassic Park movie, which is awful, but we watched it the other day, and then Apple TV was like, "You should watch this again." And I'm like, "No, that's not the type of neurodivergent that I am."
Interesting.
So having to do it over again is a punishment to me. So I thought, well, I'm going to do all of these with friends, because that way I'll know if my audio is recording, because if it's not, you can't hear me.
Can definitely hear you.
And then I have somebody to talk to.
Best of both worlds.
So here we are. Welcome to This Week in 40K.
Indeed. Except not. Yeah. As long as there's no platforming involved, that's my least favorite video game.
Oh, yeah. Platform. Or anytime you have to protect somebody in travel is also not okay.
Yeah.
Nobody ever says, "Oh, good, a protecting quest."
That's true. That's true.
Escort quest. That's the term I was looking for. Anyhow, so this is a game I played about a week ago. It's the Ynnari that Billy and I have been building together. This is a version of that list. It is not the final form. It was evolving along the way. This particular version of my Ynnari list is the one that has 5 Harlequin bikes in it, Billy.
Okay.
So, and excuse me, everyone, my allergies are really bad, and I just couldn't put off recording any longer. So I will try to keep my noises to a minimum. And I was playing against Noah's Blood Angels. Blood Angels are actually a list that in the Ulthway times I couldn't beat. They basically move them all to the middle of the table, then they'll charge into me and smash me, and the game was over.
Right.
I didn't care for that. So one of the goals of Billy and I building an Ynnari list was to be able to handle Blood Angels. With Las Vegas team tournament coming up, I needed to see what the Blood Angels matchup was like. This is actually a Las Vegas teams tournament table, which is why there's a giant piece of terrain in the middle of it. We did do player place terrain. I don't know why Noah didn't put more terrain in the middle of the table, but we did already have this giant thing. And then we each put one here and here, which made it hard to put something here and here. And so that's kind of why it ended up that way. But if I'm Noah, I consider taking this L.
Yeah.
And like putting it up like as far forward as I can. Right.
Yeah, cover both of those 2 objectives and have a staging ground to jump from.
Now the reality is cover saves are great, but beyond that, my only shooting that does anything to him is either really, really fast or ignores cover.
For sure.
Not cover, ignores line sight. Yeah. Anywho, so this is very obviously vital intelligence. And Noah did get to deploy the first unit, which he took big advantage of by putting his unit of infiltrators along the middle of the table right here. Then, this is after pregame moves. So he then moved his Death Company unit before I went right here. Now I phantasmed in response to that.
Okay.
And I put a unit of Hawks right here in the front of my deployment zone. Now, the Hawks are actually terrible in this matchup. Terrible. They're not. It's not like they're not like bad. They're not bad that I have them. They just don't do a lot. I took psychic interrogation, right? I took no prisoners. I took engage on all fronts. They help with engage on all fronts, but they don't help with no prisoners. They don't help with psychic interrogation. And I need to stop the Death Company from getting into me. I deployed my entire army behind this L right here. And there's no way to be deep enough that I can avoid the first turn Death Company charge without being out of position for the entire game.
Yeah.
So what I did instead is decided, okay, well, you don't have enough shooting that can be on me quick enough to kill these Hawks that, by the way, are the feel no pain ones. I'll put LFR on them. They'll be annoying to kill. They'll stand in the way. They'll make the charge difficult. What's the idea?
Sure.
Okay. And then the other thing I did is that the Incarn was right here. And I moved that Incarn back to here. And the reason for that was that I discovered that he could Death Company from his deployment zone to here, and then go here and make a charge with Thunderhammers into the Incarn. I believe the Incarn mathematically lived through that, but I suspect you also would not want that.
Yeah.
You don't want that math to start your game, right?
Yeah.
So Noah took Relentless Assault, which is the one where he's got to toe into my deployment zone. He took Fury of the Lost, which is what again, Billy?
Kill stuff with Death Company.
Right, kill stuff with Death Company. And then Blade of Sanguinius, he actually thought he shouldn't have taken that, but he took it because he wasn't sure what to take against me, and he picked the Incarn.
Okay.
Basically saying, if I kill the Incarn, I get points. If I kill the Incarn with the Beat Stick Chaplain, then I get 15 points, is the way that works.
Sure. And you would lose 1 command point, apparently, if you did all the things with the one character.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's funny.
Yeah.
And I heard that, by the way, and thought, maybe the Incarn just doesn't go at you, but that's not fun. Okay, so Noah has the first turn here, and I'm expecting that what Noah's going to do is move everything to the middle of the table.
Right.
That's my expectation. And so what I've done is I've positioned both units of D cannons here.
Mm-hmm.
All of the troops are right behind them, with troops interwoven between the D cannons for maximum movement shenanigans. What I mean by that is I wanted them mostly out of the way of the D cannons being close, but I also wanted them to not be as far from charging. So I have a couple guys up in front of the D cannons so that when I go, I've got a closer guy for charging. Right. The Hawks are back here as well, and then I've got 5 Harlequin bikes back here, and as previously stated, Harlequin bikes over here on the left, Hawks out in front. We're going to start the game now. I would tell you where Noah's stuff is, but it all looks the same.
Where are your Rangers?
My Rangers are back here with everybody else.
Okay.
Did I deep strike them? I don't know. I guess we'll be surprised together.
Fair enough.
Over here is his 3 Eliminators that got to forward deploy.
Mm-hmm.
In general, the big chunky boys are his Kitbash Vanguard. Noah is a big hobbyist, and they're trying to win Renaissance at LVTT. So all of his dudes are kitbashed, which we both agreed kitbashing Marines is lame, but all the hobby rubrics basically need you to kitbash. So
sure. And Noah's super talented at that, so yeah.
Yeah, so all these big chunky intercessor backpacks are the 18 Sanguinary Guard.
Gotcha.
And then jump packs are either the Van Vets or the Death Company.
Mm-hmm.
The Death Company have the white wing sticking off of them, I think. There's Death Company here, I know that, and I know these guys are Death Company.
Uh-huh.
So here's this I think shows why I had to put the Hawks up front.
Right. This
is how far as Death Company are after their pregame move and one more move after that. And these guys all have Thunderhammer. No, actually, I think this is the Chainsword and other stuff unit and Lightning Claw unit. I think that he opted not to send the Thunderhammers because of how I screamed. I think that's what he did.
Okay. I mean, Thunderhammers are only good into the Incarn in your list.
D cannons.
Sure.
Well, the D cannons are what he wants to kill, and the troops, right?
Yeah.
Well, you know the list. What if you're the Blood Angel player here? What do you want to kill in the Ynnari
list? I mean, if I'm the Blood Angel, how magic boxy is that middle ruin?
It has windows all around it.
Oh, okay. Well, again, you're shooting shoots into magic boxes. Yeah, if I'm him, I just try to put my entire army in that box at the end of turn 1, and at the end of turn 2, charge you with everything.
That's what I think he should. That's what I thought he would do as well. But what Noah pointed out is that his secondaries actually score 45 without him coming all the way across the table at me, provided he gets to kill the Incarn. Otherwise, he still gets a 30. Because what he'll do is he'll YOLO Death Company into me each turn and kill things with Death Company each turn, and then he'll just make sure one guy's in my deployment zone, and then that's 10. That's 2 of the secondaries. So Noah's opinion is that he doesn't have to be the aggressor immediately. He can send some things at me for a few turns and weaken me, or hope that I come out in position in the middle where he can really get me. That's his strategy. I don't know if that's right, but I'll tell you that this Ynnari list is built to deal with here's 30 guys with 2-up saves in the middle of the table.
Yeah.
This is just a little bit of shooting into the Hawks. There's those infiltrators are in the middle of the table, and the Death Company have guns as well. Or maybe the Death Company throw a grenade, maybe.
Yeah. But into a 5-up, 5-up, you should, lose what, 1 or 2 hawks in shooting.
Yep. So I've lost 2 so far. I started with 7, now I have 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know what we're talking about, but it's got to be something interesting.
Did he have any psychers in his list?
No, actually.
No. Okay.
All right, so here's the charge.
Mm-hmm. And he just needs to end up in your DZ at the end.
Right, he needs to kill that unit so that he killed something with Death Company, and then he needs to move into my DZ.
Okay.
And I decide not to LFR here. Because I think he put full rerolls on them before they left home.
Yeah, then definitely.
Yeah. Here's a whole bunch of attacks. Oh, that's right. Those eliminators actually got a line on the D cannons right here.
Mm.
That you can't see because of the way the camera's cropped. And shot into them and did a couple damage. He didn't kill a D cannon with them.
Well, it's always fun because like losing 1 D cannon is not the end of the world in Ynnari, because then they start hitting on 2s.
Right. I haven't lost any D cannons, so I didn't know that, but you're right.
I've had it happen, and then it's 2s reroll 1s from the strat. It's fun.
I want you to observe what just happened, Billy.
The hawks went away. Oh, and then there's an incarn.
Yep, there's an incarn. I purposefully positioned the hawk super spread out so that he couldn't wrap them all and make it hard for the incarn to come in. And then I put the incarn right there. Here's my reasoning. On my turn, I can always just move the incarn back.
Sure.
Or charge those Death Company, right?
Yeah.
I have all the options. But what if I decide to go at him with the incarn?
Yeah, you can go at him with the incarn and then kill the Death Company last, end up with the incarn right back in your line, a nice safe spot.
Exactly. So the incarn gets to teleport to where a unit died. And so one of the things that my list does is I have 2 Howling Banshees, and I also have an Autarch with a Howling Banshee mask. And all 3 of those guys do auto fight last on anything they touch after they charge. And so what you do is the incarn goes and charges something, and you have the incarn be the first person to fight. And then the incarn's done punching and killing whatever it's supposed to kill. Then because of fight last, you know that you're going to kill their unit after that. Mm-hmm. And so then you kill their unit and you move the incarn back to safety. So that's my 10 inches of movement. Mm-hmm. For Miracle Dice, I do have a charge. It's at the bottom of the screen, that little 2 there, Billy.
Yep.
And so that's an auto charge into the Death Company right there. I'm AP4. I ignore their invul, which they don't have. I think they maybe have 6 of them.
Definitely have a feel no pain.
They definitely have a feel no pain. And then I move my 5 bikes. Those bikes are Shuriken Cannon and bolas. And I move them there because this is sticky objectives, and I need to hold that objective. And he's got no answers for that, right?
It's only sticky objectives from troops, I believe.
Oh, that's a good point. You're right. Nonetheless, I need to hold an objective. And he can't do anything about those guys. They're way too far from any shooting that he has, and he can't really charge them. He could potentially do a long charge with these Death Company, but of course I'm intending to fight them. Yeah. So this is me positioning 10 troops up here instead of behind the D cannons. That may not look closer, but I promise you that it's significantly closer to what I want to do next turn.
And just to be clear, it's not troops, it's OBSEC makes them sticky. So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then I move 5 Banshees up to help deal with these 5 Death Company here that, remember, I need to fight last.
For killing the 5 Death Company, did you do the Mortal Wound Banshees or the 2 damage Banshees?
Those are the 2 damage Banshees.
Mm-hmm.
I'm relatively sure. I painted them in different colors from each other, red and purple. These are the purple ones I can see.
Okay.
But, I can't ever remember which ones are which.
I have to write it down on the score sheet of every game, which ones are which things.
I'm pretty sure the purple ones are the 2 damage lady.
And then the D cannons, are you intending to shoot out of line of sight or in line of sight?
It looks like they actually can see a little bit here, but I was shooting indirect.
Okay.
You know, maybe I touched the wall. I honestly can't remember.
And it also looks like you don't have any rangers out on the board to help with rerolls.
I do not. I don't know where my rangers are right now, if I'm honest.
I would guess if you took engage, you might have.
Oh, one of them is right here.
Okay, yeah, I see that.
I don't know where the other one is. I don't know. Past Colin probably had a plan. It'll show up at some point. But I don't need rerolls right now because I have 6 D cannons shooting 4 dudes in the middle of the table, and I can't reach anything. Oh, that's not true. The bottom D cannons are 24 inches from these eliminators.
Mm-hmm.
And then these guys are shooting here. These guys can see. I backed them up, and I'm looking right at the eliminator.
Right.
Daka. Here, look, 3 dead eliminators. Look like just like that.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, wait, I get a save. Oh, that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So now there's only 1 eliminator left. Stupid eliminators. Here's 7 shots from the D cannons in the middle of the table. I'll just hit with 6 of them. That seems good. Let's wound with 5 of them. Here's us doing Armor of Contempt and cover math.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude in the open tanks the first one, then explodes. And I kill all but 1. Which is annoying, but then I say, hey, I'm going to shoot him with the Banshees. And what does he say?
You're not allowed to because you advanced, and then you say, yes, I am, because elves?
That's right. Not elves. Specifically Craftworld Eldar, right?
Yes, battle focus.
Because the troops don't do it in this list, which I think is hilarious.
Right.
All the Craftworld Eldar guys can advance and shoot their pistols, but the Harlequins haven't learned that trick.
They forgot it when they left light and came over to Ynnari.
They're too busy dancing to study.
Mm-hmm.
This is me trying to get a couple shuriken cannon shots into some sanguinary guard. I can't remember if I'm in range.
Yeah. And it looks like you're probably out of range to bolus everything. Oh, you're just like, I wasn't in range. Let me just come back to this objective.
Yeah.
No, we're the fastest fingers in the West.
That's right. There's my charge. Here I go. And then he's like, hey, just so you know, I've got a 6-inch heroic intervention strat from the sanguinary guard. And for a minute, I think, well, that sounds great, because then I'll just kill the sanguinary guard.
Right.
But then I'm like, well, what if this goes badly and I end up stuck in combat with sanguinary guard and Thunderhammer Death Company? That's probably not good. But I rolled a really high charge because of my Sato 6.
Uh-huh.
I can't remember what my other die was. It was like a 5. And so I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'll just... And this is me realizing that I didn't have all the math in my head for where I wanted to be. And so I'm just talking to Noah about it, just thinking about it a little bit.
Were you guys playing in the time of the 2-inch engagement range?
We were, yeah.
Then could you have punched across those crates?
Maybe. And then I just say, fine, bring it.
Yeah. Yeah, they go to 1 damage.
Yeah. I'm like, okay. And he's like, and then he admits after he does this, I really just wanted the extra movement.
Oh,
and
fair.
I'm like, oh, okay, fair enough. Now I sent the Banshees and the Autarch here. And
those Death Company
Autarch,
need to die.
Well, yeah, and the Autarch's great at that job.
Yeah, fair.
We've talked about this. The Autarch will kill things. You just need them to be. You just need to be deliberate about what things they are.
Yes. Is that the Incarn rolling a lot of 1s?
Yes. The Incarn killed 1 Death Company.
Okay.
And it was devastating. I was very upset. I spent Miracle Dice. They're not called that. Fate Dice. I spent a CP, I think, to reroll something. Like it was. I did a lot to get over there into a combat where nothing happened. And then here's the Banshees eating the Death Company. Noah's not good at feel no pain, so that made it really easy.
Yeah. Burp.
And then I couldn't have done that. I want everybody to be clear. There you go.
Why? Oh, just where the models were.
There wasn't a guy within an inch of that.
Yeah.
So then I pile in. So what I've done here is, remember, his shooting's not that scary. So the Incarn is now right behind the Banshees. Maybe he shoots the Banshees off. They're -1 to be shot. They have an invul. Maybe I'll get some 6s on my fate dice for next turn. I'm just trying to make it so that he can't just charge everything into the Incarn.
Right.
That's
and you also put him on a 0 for primary.
No, because of sticky objectives.
If right, but also if you had done sticky objectives correctly.
No, we did them wrong, so it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
The eliminators, I presume, are not OBSEC.
Not natively.
So there's me rolling 2 6s. Seems like a good turn for those.
Mm-hmm.
And then I grabbed 2 hits. Why did I grab 2 hits? Because at some point this turn, what if he tries to charge D-cannons?
Yeah.
Also, I'm fairly convinced that next turn is going to be the go turn. It's battle round, right? So I'm rolling that for Noah's turn, but then for my turn after that. And the way that I tend to play things like Ynnari is I position and dance around with you until I see the opportunity, and then I go in hard. And my suspicion is that Noah has to respond, and then I'm going to have an opportunity to go hard at him at this turn.
Yeah. Well, and he has like no hope of touching your troops, and those are the scariest thing in your army.
Uh-huh. So there's the Death Company I failed at killing.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the Sanguinary Guard. They're coming at me.
Sanguinary actually could shoot down those Banshees. They have bullets.
A lot of bullets, yeah. That's Noah flipping off my Harlequin bikes if you didn't.
Yeah, they're in a really awkward spot for him.
Well, they're holding an objective, but they're also, and people don't get this, they're a ridiculously strong counterpunch piece. Like, I'm not talking about charging. The bolas are crazy into Noah.
Yeah.
Like, if I shoot one of those 6-man Sanguinary Guard units,
it's the last.
It's 15, strength 7, AP 3, 2 damage hits.
Shots.
Sorry, shots.
Yeah.
Hits would be better.
Yeah. If they were flamers, then we would be talking truly about our clown overlords.
Yeah, right. So this is Noah moving up, and I think he's being way too wishy-washy here. Right? Like he should go advance them as far as they can go. Or stay back. But like moving somewhat towards me is not going to get him anywhere. Because I'm faster than he is. So that's me showing Noah D-cannon range.
Uh-huh.
Because I'm helping.
And there are windows to see through those L's?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You're never safe if you're touching frontline terrain. It's kind of how it works.
Well, there are rumors that might be changing soon.
There is rumors of that. There's rumors that they're going to go back to first floor blocking, which I think they should. I wish they would do it before Las Vegas teams. So he's moving back. I think he's expecting me to stay back as well.
Can you clear? That looks like too long of a distance to clear to all those guys.
It is. The troops can't make it to him right now.
Yeah. But your point of Noah's mind, he wins this game, or he just piecemeals stuff into you.
Yes, exactly. He thinks that if he comes hard to the middle of the table, I'll respond with all the troops and everything and destroy him. And he might be right, Billy. I don't know. But like, certainly this list is fantastic at killing 2-up saves in the middle of the table. Right? That's something that it's good at. Like it's very good into Emperor's Children and Word Bearers and all those chalky chaos lists. And this isn't fundamentally different from those lists, honestly. No. It's the Imperium version, right? There's not a lot of guns. There's close combat trickery. There's tanky dudes with multi-wounds that are coming at you.
Yeah.
So this is him shooting at Banshees.
Not very effectively, apparently.
Oh, actually, he shot the Incarn a little bit there. That's the Incarn wounds on that building there. And then he's charging into the Banshees. He asks the question everybody asks when they do this. Does their stuff work when they get charged?
No.
I say, no, it does not. He said, oh, that's good. Here comes the Death Company.
And
now, he's doing this because he needs to kill something with Death Company this turn.
Sure. Oh,
And so his plan is to set it up for the Death Company to get the kill. That's his hope. What were you going to ask, Colin?
I see that. He's spending a lot of resources to kill those Banshees and leave the Incarn untouched.
Yeah, but he couldn't have got, I mean...
He had bullets, shoot the Banshees, then charge the Incarn with all that stuff.
It would have been a pretty long charge. I don't know.
I admit that my perspective, like visual perspective on
you might be right.
That's
that's what I think he should have shot the Banshees, yeah. But Noah's opinion is that I'm playing back too far. And it's important to remember that Noah's not here to defend himself.
No.
Wait, so sorry, did those there,
yeah, tell me there.
So what happened there is this thing where my entire army has strike first.
Right.
And so the Sanguinary Guard went and didn't kill all the Banshees. And the Banshees then decided to go and kill all the Death Company. That's how that happened.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the Banshees die and the Incarn ends up on an objective.
Oh, I think the Death Company swung into the Banshees.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
Them. The Sanguinary Guard are attacking now. And then right. I point out that because he surrounded the Banshees, I can't teleport the Incarn.
Okay. That's correct.
I tried to, but it's not a thing.
Because that would have been a nice, cheeky way to get a 12 on primary.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Just be standing on that objective.
Because he's not on that bottom right one.
You're right. So this is him. He's then saying, well, I would have piled into your deployment zone. And I said, that's fine. Let's just do it. And then we argue about it for a while because he doesn't want to and I want him to. It's fine.
That's a practice game.
Yeah. It's like, I'm like, no, just get the points. It's fine. Okay. So in points, you can see that at the end of turn 1, Noah had 11 points and I had 2.
Right.
That's really important when we're evaluating this game. You're saying, why didn't Noah go more? Is he piecemealing too much stuff? But he's ahead by a whole bunch of points, and he just scored a bunch more on his turn as well. So I say, okay, you're right. I am going to lose if I stay back. So let's go. And the first thing I do is I advance these Rangers because I took Engage on all fronts like a moron. So Engage on all fronts is terrible, Billy. I don't know if you know this about it.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. It's real bad. And I don't realize when I take it that because I don't take it very often, and I was just kind of trying it, is that it has a 12-inch band of you can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like here and here. Mm-hmm. Like all of this are these giant areas that you can't do it in. And when you draw them all on the table, you realize that the area you can do it in is not big.
No.
So it was a mistake. I need to just never take it ever again. But like Billy, we've talked about behind enemy lines. Behind enemy lines is trash in this game.
Yeah, this one's tough.
Because
anything back there's dead.
Right. I decided, by the way, what I did here is I gave them Ambush of Blades, and then I rolled their advance to decide if they were going to go.
And it looks like you got a big one?
Yeah, I got a 6 or a 5, something like that.
Yeah.
But like, you can just say, I'm going to advance the unit and then not move them anywhere. Fine, right? And so I just said, do I get a big advance? Great. So they're like a 6-7 inch charge from the Death Company. And if I kill all this Death Company, then he doesn't get to score Fury of the Lost anymore. And I've already killed 2 units of Death Company, so all he has now is his Chaplain, who's in Deep Strike, by the way.
Okay.
And those guys right there holding the objective.
Right.
And by the way, I also have YOLO'd out some D-cannons down here for those that are paying attention. 24 inches from these D-cannons is sassily this guy. And 24 inches from these D-cannons is these guys. I think.
Yeah.
I can't remember where they reach. And then these guys, most of the bolas reach here, and the shuriken cannons reach the unit behind them.
Yeah,
because my thought is, let's fight. I'll put some troops in the middle of the table that he needs to deal with. If he shoots them off, fine. If he charges them, great. I'll put the Incarn there, and the Incarn will kill all of his characters on the next turn. If I lose the bikes, the Autarch, and a unit of troops, who cares, right?
You didn't want to try again another yo-yo play with the Incarn, like shoot it forward and then teleport it back to these.
It's too far back, and then I mean, because it wasn't far enough to get a charge in, and then even if I do get a charge in, it doesn't have a way to come back. And remember, if he kills the Incarn with his chaplain, that's 15 points.
For sure.
So I decided to move the Incarn back here and give him a turn off.
Okay.
But I still have Banshees here and a troop unit here.
Right.
And that's really important because this is going to be hard to explain. The way Noah's positioned, he's not going to take this objective or this objective, right?
Right.
He's going to try to take this one or this one as he comes at me.
Right, the middle ones.
Right, and so I put the troops here, which means that the Incarn will go here, hopefully. And then these guys are a very short charge from here.
Right.
Is the idea.
So the Incarn takes the bottom right one.
Right. I'm trying to position my resources so that if Noah does the things that he needs to do to respond, that I have a response ready. The thing about Eldar, and the reason why I like it so much, that we don't talk about, Billy. By the way, that was the D-cannon scooping the Sengard out in the middle of the table.
Oh, geez, yep. Bye.
That's why the Incarn did need to be in the middle of the table, because that's a unit of 6, which means 9 shot from the dudes there. There's a ranger unit somewhere here that was within 12 inches to give them rerolls. Good to go.
Rerolling 3s into 2s.
Here's, by the way, this is a warlock, by the way.
Okay, he's interrogating someone.
He's interrogating someone and not caring if he dies. Anyways, what I was going to say about Eldar is there's a lot of different style of gameplay in different lists, right? And things like Tau and Necrons and AdMech, you position at the start, and then the army kind of operates based on how you positioned it, right? Like the army kind of flexes and morphs and moves, but it's all about that initial deployment. I like the speed armies because I like to plan just one turn in advance. I like to position my units where they're doing an important thing this turn and then are going to die, or they're set up to respond to the response.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of how I play Eldar. So what's happening right now is that the D-cannon shredded one unit, and the Harlequin bikes are shredding another. Because you know what is really good against Sanguinary Guard is bolas. So you might notice that I have just killed 5 from this unit, 4 from this unit, and 6 from this unit.
15 of his 18 total Sengard?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're about to kill those Death Company on the bottom middle.
So my question for you is, Billy, is should he have moved everything to the middle of the table on turn 1? I'm genuinely interested. I'm genuinely interested in what you think.
I would have tried to move them there to the point where where you couldn't have gotten a good charge on them.
Okay.
Take one turn of shooting on the chin and then just YOLO into your lines. Because otherwise you, Colin, can always do this to Noah.
Right.
You have much better shooting than he does. It's which one of the Frontier guys did the Who's the Beatdown? Daily bit.
I don't know.
I think it was Alex, I think, did it. And that's what this is Noah had to be the beatdown. He has to charge into you, because otherwise you can pick your engagements better because you have faster, better shooting than he does.
I completely agree. But I will say that these are team tournament lists. So what we're trying to figure out is what happens. It's not about winning and losing, it is, but it's also about score differential.
Sure. So
if he moves to the middle of the table and I table him almost immediately,
that's a 20-0.
That's a 20-0.
Yeah, his approach.
I'm not convinced he played this wrong. I think the matchup might just be really bad for Blood Angels.
Oh, for sure.
But I wanted to talk about it, and I wanted you and I to watch it, because at the end of the first turn and the end of the second turn, no, at the end of my first turn, and in the end of top and the middle of second turn. In both situations, Noah felt really strong about the matchup.
Yeah.
And Noah's not dumb. He's very, very smart. And the reason he felt good about the matchup is how much he's outscoring me on points.
Right.
But what he's not considering is I can just hit. Right? Like, it's not... My YOLOing into him doesn't look like when he YOLOs into me. I don't have to move everything in the middle of the table and stand there. Yeah. Right?
Well, and I think a lot of people, until they play against this Ynnari army, it doesn't look on the army list like it should just destroy anything it can see. And It's way closer to that than it looks like on paper.
Yeah, it's incredibly aggressive.
Yeah, people think of it as they evaluate the troops and those bikes as how they would be in light, as opposed to how they are in Ynnari.
Right.
And they just are fundamentally very different. And then not a lot of other people are playing with D-cannons, and people have forgotten how nasty those things are.
Right. It's one of the best data sheets in the book, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you do now, though? Right? Now it's 18-18, top of 3.
But he has
because I got psychic interrogation. I've gotten a bunch of no prisoners. I haven't gotten any engage on all fronts yet because I should have taken that because I'm dumb.
You're taking banners, probably.
Banners and then start some rangers on the upper left objective.
Yeah, and then like right here, you're getting 3 a turn.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I like banners with this list, actually. I take it all the time.
Well, and this mission a lot of time can turn into a hammer and anvil kind of deployment or game, and then you have your 3, they have theirs.
Right. So talking about Noah's response here, I don't know who these guys are. I think, they're 2 Sengard that didn't die.
Okay.
There's 1 Sengard here. So what Noah's trying to decide is, how do I respond to this? Now, this is where the game goes a little weird, because I tell Noah that I have laid a specific trap for him. That if he goes and kills those Harlequin bikes, he will lose everything.
Yes.
And Noah says, I think it's my only play.
Okay.
And I say, okay, let's play it out. His reasoning is he needs to rely on his durability a bit.
Right.
He needs to clear me off the objectives, and he needs to survive long enough to get into me. Because if he keeps trading with me in the middle of the table, I'm going to win the game. So he needs to get to me, which is what you're talking about when you say that he should have come to the middle of the table on the first turn. And maybe he should have, but I actually think that he would have gotten 20 out if he had. So it's hard. It's hard, right?
Well, at this point, is he still playing for a win, or is he playing to just like minimize the differential?
Oh yeah, he's minimizing the differential right now.
Okay.
Like I've killed all the Death Company and 15 of the 18 Sanguinary Guard in 2 turns. Like that's not okay. It's what that's not. And by the way, my LVTT version of this list has more D-cannons than this.
Mm-hmm. you trim down on the clown bike for it, right?
There's 1 less Warlock in my LVTT list, and 3 bikes instead of 5. I like the 5 bikes, but the reality is it's a bigger footprint, and I'm worried about terrain.
Yeah, it's so many points,
and they're expensive. Yeah. I like the mobile thing that can get around a corner and just blow something up with guns.
Yeah.
A lot. And it doesn't... when I play 40k, I want good shooting and good close combat and good mental. Like, I want the balanced thing, and I want it to have tools in each of those phases so that I can respond and outplay. Like, I don't like to play something that's too two-dimensional, and so the additional Harlequin bikes is trying to give me more medium-range threat.
Right.
That doesn't involve charging people. Partially because Bile is terrifying.
And that's where the D-cannons become much
right, and that's when I realized that 2 D-cannons are better at shooting than 2 Harlequin bikes in against almost any target.
Yeah.
So. All right, so his Death Company are clearing off those troops.
Did he not charge those 2 guys in the middle down into your D-cannons?
He forgot. We're going to do it in just a second.
Okay.
He's actually not going to charge the D-cannons. That's really far. He's going to charge this Warlock. so that he
Okay.
toes in to get
Yeah,
his
that's it.
assault. I believe the chaplain also has come. No, the chaplain has not come down. He's not here yet. So, because of fight first, I get to fight with my Harlequin bikes now.
Well, yeah, they're kind of wet noodles into.
It's not going to
those
do
two-ups.
anything, but I get to do it, so I'm doing it.
Yeah,
He makes
for
2
sure.
saves. Here's one punching into some Van Vets. Oh, he makes those saves too. Good times.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think's going to happen now? He's punching the rest of the bikes.
Can I interrupt you really quickly because you didn't mention something? That Incarn did show up in that bottom right-hand objective.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah. Are you going to spike your? Oh, you decided to.
Yeah, move them again. Why not?
I thought the plan was for the Incarn to handle bottom, right, middle, and then troops in Banshees.
Yeah, but the
top.
plan changed when he moved his entire army to the upper left objective.
And I guess D cannons can clear.
Yeah, there's 3 D cannons and 5 Rangers down there looking at that other objective. Like, maybe it doesn't clear them all off, but it's fine.
Does Noah not have anything on his home objective right now?
Not anymore, no.
Okay. Oh, so all of his models are on those 2 objectives.
Yeah, he's all in.
Oh, okay. Bye-bye.
But he did get Fury of the Lost with those 2 Sanguinary Guard. So that's good. He's still scoring points like a mad fiend.
Sure, but he's not going to... I mean, these are all of the points he's going to get.
That's the thing. That's what I told him. Like, if you go in right now, you're going to die. And so now, let's watch him die. Those D cannons move to there. The other D cannons can already see their target. The Rangers go and start getting me engaged on all front points.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so bad, Billy.
It's almost worth it to like drop 2 CP to shove a Phoenix Lord in so you can webway. And honestly, Wrath of Cain more reliably.
Supposedly, you're not supposed to be able to take book secondaries for Ynnari, so.
I've seen it happen in the UK scene. No, even they didn't do it.
No, at LVTT, they're ruling that you can.
Oh, are they? Okay. Yeah. Well, maybe that will force them to actually fact the Nephilim because it's so clearly a typo. It is raw, but it is so clearly a typo.
All right. So what I have here is 10 very buffed troops.
Oh, have you done the spells yet?
I'm not sure. And the Incarn is there, and we're going to do the Mortal Wound Bomb now.
And your Autarch is still alive there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Do you want to just go through?
This is the 9-inch Mortal Wound Pulse, is what this is. Do you want to explain that?
Yeah, you roll 3d6 for every enemy unit within 9, and for every 4+, it's a mortal wound. It's lovely.
It's bonkers is what it is.
Yeah.
And all of his characters are here, so they're all getting hit by it.
Yeah. But whenever we get to the melee, do you want to just go through every single buff those clowns have before they?
I don't remember what all they have right now, but what they can have, is Ambush of Blades. Speaking of which, I should make buff cards for the tournament. Ambush of Blades is an additional AP. I did cast for sure auto wounding on 6s to hit on them. They can have +1 to wound. You can jinx your target. And then when you go in, you can make them 3 damage.
Plus the reroll ones from the Autarch.
Reroll ones from the Autarch. So they can be 40 attacks, hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. Hitting on 2s, if somebody's died, then it's only 36 attacks. And then auto wounding on 6s to hit, strength 4, but +1 to wound, AP 4 if you want it, 3 damage if you want it.
Ignore invulns if you really want it.
Yes, and you can be 3 damage and ignore invuls at the same time.
Correct.
I haven't ever found that useful.
No.
To do those 2 things at the same time, because usually the thing that you're fighting is some Armor of Contempt bullshit, right? That doesn't care about ignoring invuls. Like Chaos Terminators is what I punch all the time. And it's like, okay, well, you're on a 5-up anyway, so I don't need to ignore your invul.
I think the one time I did it was against the Tau suit unit that has both 4-ups on everyone and then the feel no pain on the one guy. So you want the 3 damage to punch through the 4-up feel no pain guy, and then they just get no saves against anything else.
Right. So my D-cannons picked up the 2 sanguinary guard here.
Mm-hmm.
And then they also picked up a couple Van Vets or Death Company, whatever these guys are. I think they're Death Company. And so, excuse me, sorry. So I didn't successfully clear this objective, but that doesn't matter because the shooting was devastating into this other group. I picked up all the Sengard that were still there. I picked up some Death Company, and now I'm getting ready to charge.
Oh, and if you killed enough models, the flamer off of the Incarn could hit the characters too.
Yep. I think I did that already.
Yeah.
Noah's looking something up because I'm shooting characters he doesn't know about. Doesn't know what their defensive stats are, I think.
That's always a fun feeling of, this model's never been in melee before. Let's see what it actually does.
Right. I was right, by the way. These are the Mortal Wound Banshees. I remember.
Okay.
Because they're going to go Mortal Wound Dante here in a second.
Yeah, I guess in no one's mind, if Angel Sacrifice could pretty aggressively blunt some of this.
It's too many things. If it was just the troops or just the Banshees, but the Incarn, the Banshees, and the troops, and the Autarch, come on.
Yeah.
That's a crazy amount of punch.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend my weekend painting my Incarn, by the way.
Ooh.
I'm really excited about it.
Yeah. I had an Incarn and I actually bought a new one just so that I could paint it better.
I like that. So, I don't know what that... Oh, that was shooting the D-cannons. There's the Death Company gone. So now what he's got is 1 Sengard, his characters, or 2 Sanguinary Guard in his characters.
Uh-huh.
And that's it.
Oh, okay.
The Banshees go in, I do Mortal Wounds. Oh, actually, I don't do the Mortal Wounds yet because it's not the...
Right.
Technically speaking, one of them happens now and the other one happens at the start of the fight phase, but I don't ever remember to get that timing correct, and it only matters if they're wound gated.
Yeah.
I think the 1 mortal wound happens now, but then the D3+1 happens at the beginning of the fight phase, or maybe I have that backwards.
No, I think you said it right.
Yeah. It's unnecessarily confusing, so I usually just do them when I charge them. So he Angel sacrifices the and so the Banshees go first and pick up Dante. The troops go and pick up everybody else. The Incarn picks up the Sengard, and we can skip forward through some of this here. There you go. Everything's dead. He is on Noah's turn. But note, it is top of 4, and I am only 2 points ahead of him.
For sure.
And I think that's significant when you think that realize that we're playing for score differential. So he throws these Death Company down here. What he should have done, we talk about this, is he should have come here, charge these guys, and get into my deployment zone.
Right.
But that's that, and then the only other thing he's got left is Captain Chaplain, who's right here.
Okay.
And he's going to try to charge the Incarn to get all those points.
Oh, that would be a fun fight.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry to disappoint you, Noah. He misses the charge.
I mean,
sorry.
8 inches, right?
Yeah.
8 inches with a reroll's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah. So he misses his charge. We go to bottom of 4. I pick up the Death Company in the bottom right-hand corner. Oh, he charged the troops. It must be top of 4 or something. It doesn't matter, guys. I'm just showing you the end of the game.
Yeah. You throw the Incarn into the top right just for style points.
Well, I need to engage on the front and take the objective.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So here's our end scores. So in the end, I got him by 22, which is like a 14-6.
I trust you on the differential.
What's that?
I've never played in a team tournament, so I don't have the differentials off the top of my head.
I think it's 5 points. So 50 points is 20-0. 45 points is 19-11 or 19-1. So I think that 22 points would be like 14 or 15.
That makes
but
sense.
that's, you know, that's way better than giving up a 20, which he might have given up if he'd moved to the middle of the table. I'm trying to help people understand that Noah didn't play the game badly.
No.
Like I think the matchup is rough. Now that I've seen this, I would say that if I was Noah's team, I would put Ynnari as a red for Noah, as something that he really needs to watch out for, because if he had moved to the middle of the table, I'm really sure that he dies. And I think it's really bad.
Yeah, I think he needs to do different things with the terrain to give himself a better staging ground on some of those middle objectives so that only the D cannons can shoot, and use the threat of the Death Company to push you back far enough so that he can do that stage.
Yeah, maybe. That'd be neat. I'd like to do that again. I want to get Noah back to play this matchup again because I think we both could have played it differently. In the end, though, this Ynnari list is still built to kill Marines.
Yeah, it is.
Like the turn where I low-key kill 15 Sanguinary Guard at range, that's not okay.
Yeah.
People don't need that.
Contrast that to what your experience with Ulthway or Hale, when your Ulthway list, Anthony just shoved his Blood Angels at you, and you're like, I killed 2 models?
Yep, it was terrible.
And now with this army, it's I killed all the models?
Well, yeah, and the reality is this, because the thing about this army is that if you're anywhere in like here or even like here against me, the troops are going to come kill you.
Yeah.
Like they're not Gene Stealers from 8th edition. They're not going to the back corner of my opponent's deployment zone on the first turn. But they're plenty fast at, 9 to 14 plus charge.
Right.
That's plenty quick to get anything in the middle of the table. And that's the only thing you have to do anymore is fight in the middle of the table a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I think that's an important thing about what speed is. You don't need to get into their deployment zone turn 1 or 2. You just need to threaten those midfield objectives by turn 2. And then you're fast enough.
And Billy, that's a big part of why I keep telling you that I don't like behind enemy lines. Because I don't need to go to their deployment zone. Like there's nothing for me there.
You're not wrong, he says abashedly. With this conception of the list, I completely agree. And against him, I also agree. I think there are some matchups where like, for example, if you're playing against Plague Burst Crawlers, you want to go back and tag those Plague Burst Crawlers anyway. And in those sorts of situations, I like having the option. But yeah, that's a conversation for another.
I think I mostly ignore Plague Burst Crawlers and kill the rest of their army.
Yeah, fair. I mean, the biggest thing there is how quickly you kill the Foul Blight spawn. But then we're, again, that's not Blood Angels.
Right. All right, Billy, I appreciate you joining me today.
Oh no, thank you. I would have watched this episode anyway, and this way I get to be part of it.
Now you can watch it and just obsess over yourself. Oh man, I sound so nerdy.
I hate the goddamn sound of my own voice.
Yeah, everybody else does too. I mean, everybody hates their own sound, not you.
I know. Thank you for putting that into my head for the rest of Friday.
Yeah. All right, Billy, thanks. And guys, we'll be back soon. If you want to see all of our bit reps, remember to join our members only area on YouTube so that you can see the ones that are there, like Colin playing Sisters of Battle into Nicholas Olsen Johnson, GT winning Necron players. Necron list is there, for example.
It is.
It is. It's a good game too. Bye, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.